Mickey, I couldn't stay in my house not one more night. Why, thank you, Gorkon. Oh, that's the ticket. My dogs are barking.
Goofy's been around since 1932, and he was my favorite Disney character growing up. So I guess I just played with the voice and, you know, all the world owes me a living horse. I can do the laugh, and he was my favorite. So it just kind of came naturally to me. And I beat out about 1,000 people that tried out for it, and I've been doing it ever since.
If we are watching something that's come out since 1987 and Goofy's in it, is that you?
It is me, yes. Goofy movie, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I'm in 3 or 4 series right now. Yeah, I've done about 3,000 to 4,000 different jobs for Disney over the last 30-some years, so 33 years now. And yeah, so I'm doing 2 cartoons later today.
You know, you've done them for over 30 years. So like, how has, you know, your voice has changed? Like everyone's voice changes over time. Has Goofy changed over time?
He hadn't changed that much in vocal or in personality, but depending on the audience, it kind of changes a little bit. Obviously, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, that's kind of aimed at 5 and under, you know, the little kids. It's softer, it's gentler, it's a little bit slower. The Mickey Mouse shorts, we've done our 5th season of, are kind of more retro. It's kind of 1930s. It's more Dippy Dog than Goofy. He changed in a Goofy movie where he had to be a nurturing father. We'd never had to do that before.
I was only trying to take my boy fishing, okay?
I'm not your little boy anymore, Dad. I've grown up. I've got my own life now.
I know that. I just wanted to be part of it.
I read that when you guys were doing the Goofy movie, they asked you to do just like a regular human voice.
That's
for
true.
Goofy. And then you were like, I don't know. And then you had to go back in and re-record it as Goofy.
Well, that was really tough to go through because I thought they might be changing Goofy too much. What they were trying to do is to put more human emotions in him, but it's still Goofy. And I think we hit that pretty good.
That movie, you know, kind of like had an okay critical reaction and then kind of like an okay box office, but it really has like come around.
It blew me away that people are that interested after all this time, 25 years this year since it came out in 1995. It was a pretty well-attended movie, but Disney didn't push it. It was kind of a small, it wasn't a big tentpole movie. It was a small release, but it was the 3rd highest grossing animated movie of 95. I always thought it was a hidden gem and that when people found it, they would love it because it had a lot of heart.
Horace, what's wrong? All the rainforests are being chopped down, nobody votes anymore, and the internet's too dang slow.
You also do the voice of Horace, Horsecollar. Like you've been doing that for almost 30 years too.
Our first theatrical release was called Prince and the Pauper, which was a short that came out before the movie and was released along with the movie The Rescuers Down Under. And there was a character, Horace Horsecollar, who really didn't have a voice until this movie. I got to audition and provide a voice for him just on the spot. They said, okay, Horace needs a thing. Bill, do you got anything? I said, what's he like? And they said, well, he's kind of an upper crust, you know, he's kind of snooty. So I was thinking Jim Backus from Gilligan's Island. That might be a good voice. And then, but he's very droll. So I was thinking Ben Stein from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So I combined the two and came up with this character. And they said, that's the guy.
Well, Donald, I'll have you know that I don't find your behavior amusing at all.
You've been in a bunch of different iterations of the Kingdom Hearts game, which I always wonder about video game recording. What is that session like? Are you just recording scenes? Are you recording, now if I'm a character that falls down, I'm going to do this? And then, you know what I mean? Like, are you recording like just sounds?
In a video game, since the player can go in different directions and stuff, there are thousands of lines.
Beast! Peter Pan! Jack! Ooh! Ow! Ah! Oh, added fillers. Thanks, pal. Help!
I would do a 4-hour session of just hundreds of lines, and then we'd do that maybe 15 to 20 days of recording over a year or two period. I never got a sense of the story, and I'm not good at video games, so I still don't know what it's all about.
He was obviously insane, and then quickly disappeared, So how can we trust the robot that he built?
Was working on Astro Boy kind of similar to that? Because that was also sort of a Japanese adaptation.
That was more of a looping job. And I did a character, Detective Tawashi, and various monsters where, okay, you're monster number 3. We are attacking the city. It's kind of improv, really.
If he's a kind of a little nebbish type of character, you might do a higher voice and a kind of a weaker voice. Or he could be a New York guy or whatever.
Going somewhere. May I remind you, sir, that physical violence is tasteless. Did you order original recipe or extra crispy?
You were in Space Jam doing some, like, you know, big time characters. Those characters all have sort of like a common bravado that they bring to them, like a Yosemite and a Foghorn.
Yosemite's a tough one to do. I hate rabbits. You just got to do it really just 100%. And if you do that for about an hour, then you're talking like the Godfather for the rest of the day. When we do Goofy and Pluto, I save Pluto and do that after I do all the Goofy lines because, whoa, you know, if you do that for an hour, it starts to, you know, I might have to take a little break or something. And I might get a little hoarse if I push it too much.
You've been in some weird stuff. You were in The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald, which is a classy Supo thing.
There's no mistaking the most wanted varmint in the whole county!
And you did the voice of a soda for a McDonald's commercial.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to being happy, you guys hold the record.
No, you're holding the record.
In Hollywood, I have an agent, a voiceover agent, and she'll send me, oh, here's a thing for an announcer, and they want you to be a soft drink. They can either tell me what they want it to sound like and kind of a reference material that like a particular actor or something, or they might leave it up to me to just come up with a voice. It can be totally free form. So what does a soda sound like? He could sound bubbly like Bing Crosby.
Or he could be a happy little character or a very high energy kind of character because he might be hopped up on sugar.
So you just try and grab onto anything you can and make a vocalization out of it. And hopefully they'll pick you out of all the hundreds of other people that are trying out for this.
Oh, Toto! We'll be home in time for supper!
In another hour, I'll be king of the forest. Long live the king.
That was really early on. My first year out in Hollywood, probably about 87 or 88. That was just, I watched a copy of The Wizard of Oz and ain't it the truth? You know, so you get those lines down and you go to a studio and they kind of tell you about what the ride is. And you just lay these lines down and they pick the ones they want. And then when you see the ride, you get, oh, that's what they meant. That's what they're using this for. You never really know.
One of the live action things you did was you were in ROBOCOP.
Yes. I remember it terrified the heck out of me because I had this paragraph that I had to say, and I knew I was going to be on a big budget movie, and I didn't want to mess it up. And I can remember to this day, my speech was, terrorism has never been a factor in this city's politics before.
But that changed today when former city councilman Ron Miller entered City Hall with a gun. He's now on the second floor holding Mayor Gibson and his staff hostage. We do believe that Miller has killed one of the hostages.
And I did all of that, and I'd already hit my mark, and so the director, Paul Verhoeven, said, no, that's too long. Cut this, and this line. I just spent a month learning this thing. And so what's in the movie is me kind of paraphrasing it, and the excitement on my face is real. I was just hoping to get through this darn thing, which was at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was about 90 degrees in Dallas. And after that, I decided I want to be inside in a studio with a microphone.
Part of the reason you think certain voice actors are so successful is because they're great actors, not just great voices. Yep. Like the voice acting is as much acting.
I learned when I first came out here, I took classes from a gentleman named Dawes Butler, who was a great Hanna-Barbera voiceover artist. He was adamant about stressing that the voice comes after the acting. The acting leads the voice through emotion. You can do volume and be a loud character, but it has no emotional weight. If you're mad, you don't say, get off the furniture. You say, get off the furniture. It's more pointed. It's got to be, the words are pushed out by emotion. And that's where acting comes in. Students that I've taught, where they say, I don't want to be an actor, I want to do voices. Wrong thing. We're all actors. It's all about the acting. That's the important part.
I think it's best you stay put. But no buts. Now, I'm gonna go into my study to get a little reading done.
Goofy was a well-known commodity. I had to match what had been done before. Hop Pop is a totally unique character. I got to come up with a voice on him. And it's much more my vision. And luckily it matched what the people that are putting the show together thought it was.
And he's actually kind of based on George Bush a little bit. And he's kind of an old frog, kind of an East Texas, West Texas frog.
And he's a great fun to do it because I know I base him on, a grandfather I had, stereotypical kind of crotchety old people with a heart of gold that you run into through the years. Oh, his bark is worse than his bite. We record first and then they animate. And until it came on TV, a lot of the other characters, I had no idea what they looked like. Is only in my mind I guessed. And I go, oh, that's what she looks like. That's what Sprig looks like. That's what Anne looks like. I didn't know until I saw it.
Such a good voice. Join Disney legend Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy and Pluto, celebrating all they do for us.
You found me.
Most actors go from doing live action to animation. I'm going from animation to live action. We spent the last year putting this show together, and we went to 11 states over 4 months. Shooting. We have this show that's coming out next week, May 15th. Said to myself, I should have done this 30 years ago, but it was the right time for the right show.
You do quite a good dog impression. It's in both episodes.
Yeah.
You're sort of fooling the dogs. They look very puzzled by you.
Oh, yeah. It's always weird if I do Pluto or row, row, oh, they kind of, they look at me. They don't know, what are you saying? I have no idea what I'm saying, but they seem to understand.